What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at now. So we have the DoorDash girl. If y'all remember the chick that was supposed to drop off this man at DoorDash, but she took pictures of him, basically sleeping in his own place, caught him with his pants down, basically. But she went out the way to open up her phone, go and find the button for the camera, and proceeded to record or take pictures, which is something that you have to do. That it's not just going to pop up on your phone. But listen, look, man, so apparently, yeah, she's about to go to court. This was her first day in court and things like that. So we're going to go to this gentleman's channel here, and we're going to check this out, and see what he has to say. He actually went to the area where the proceedings were happening and followed it in court in real time. So let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Things just got so much worse for the TikTok DoorDash girl because this is becoming a nightmare for her. And if you don't know about the situation, it is insane. So here's a quick rundown. So on October 12, 2025, a DoorDash driver by the name of Olivia Henderson got an order in Oswego, New York. This was apparently a late night Wendy's order. And from what we know, all she had to do was leave the food at the door, take a picture of the food, and continue on with her night. Instead, she allegedly made a series of awful decisions. The police and prosecution, they're alleging that she pushed the door open and decided to film a drunk dude who was passed out on his couch with his pants down. So in my first video on this story, I reported that she walked into the house because that's what currently was going viral on TikTok. That, from what I know, is wrong. So I have to issue a massive retraction and correction to that statement. All the, at least credible sources, are claiming that she never walked into that house. She was only standing in the doorway. But still, either way, filming and posting what she saw after she allegedly either opened the door or pushed open the door is still incredibly stupid. So if what the prosecution is alleging is true, she seemingly went onto TikTok and tried to destroy an innocent man's life for passing out within his own house with his pants down. Now, obviously, we're not going to show the original video. I can't even find the original video. All I can find is a screenshot. But even if I could find the original video, I wouldn't be showing that here on this channel for obvious reasons. Because there is a massive privacy issue there. But this is her follow-up video to the original video.
So on October 12th, 2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front.
Traditional dropshipping is dead.
Okay.
Their front door was wide open. Their lights were on. They were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me.
Okay, so she says the door was wide open, and the police and prosecutors say otherwise. And the reason they're saying this is because there's allegedly Ring doorbell footage of her either opening or pushing the door open. Now, the only problem is, to my knowledge, that footage has not been released to the public. I was actually hoping to see that footage today in court, but court had different plans for us today.
Because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing nothing. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. I was working. I was literally working, and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my fault while door dashing. They just
Look at how insane this bat looks. Jesus Christ, this is crazy. You're not supposed to take any pictures of anybody, period, any human being when you're door dashing. That makes no sense. Taking pictures of the food, stuff like that. Okay, it also go back to what I said at first. So, she did have the camera out to take the picture of the food. Fine. But she was not supposed to take any other pictures or do any other things with that camera while she was supposed to be dropping off the food, take the picture, and walk away. This is ridiculous. Talking about she's the victim. The victim of what? The victim of your own stupidity? Yeah. The victim of your own stupidity.
fired me, and the police are doing nothing.
Okay, so that's her side, and the prosecution is basically saying something around the lines of this happening.
Sir, I have your DoorDash. Ew, I'm a victim!
Now, obviously, that video exaggerates things for humor, and again, correction, she didn't go into the house from what we know. But this was her final response before the trial.
Hi guys, it's the DoorDash girl. There have been a lot of people saying things like I entered the customer's home or I opened the customer's door, but I can assure you that I did not do either of those things. And I have obtained irrefutable proof that the door was already wide open when I arrived to the customer's house. But due to its importance, I cannot post that proof at this time.
Okay, so we have two sides saying two different things. The only thing everyone can agree on is that the homeowner was laying passed out inside of his own home with his pants down. Then she had her arraignment, which was actually televised, and she asked to ban cameras, but the judge reportedly responded, so now you don't want cameras involved. So I wouldn't say that was a strong start for her, but that was her arraignment. This is how her first hearing went. And as we found out, it didn't go as expected, and it doesn't seem like she's just going to get a slap on the wrist. Back at the airport again, because today we're heading to the TikTok DoorDash girls trial, which is tomorrow. So we're going to Syracuse, New York now. But I definitely wanted to attend this trial because there's been so many details about this case that have been extremely unclear. So might as well.
These people are going hard on the internet with this new journalism situation. I'm loving it though, because this would have went under the table about what this girl did if this gentleman right here hadn't went there and brought this to us on YouTube. Like seriously, who would have thought? Who would have known? Because we didn't know this in the normal news. They didn't bring this up at all ever again until now.
Go show up and get them clarified. Dude, this is the smallest airplane I've ever been on.
Welcome to Syracuse, where local time is 2:03 p.m.
All right, so I'm in Syracuse, New York. This is not Miami. Why can't an influencer break the law somewhere tropical? Miami was great. This is rough. Tomorrow morning, I'm driving the last 25 minutes or so to get to Oswego. And apparently Oswego is known for being even colder than this spot. So that's awesome.
Good morning. We're getting ready here. It's 7:50 in the morning here. The trial starts at 7:30. I'll probably try to get there half an hour early so we have way more time than anticipated. But yeah, for now, coffee, a little bowl of cereal. It's time to wake all up and we'll be good. There's a few things that are probably going to happen today. Or actually, I say that, but in reality, I don't know what's going to happen because there's always surprises when you go to trial. She currently has a public defender, and she's charged with 2 counts. She has one count of Okay, so she has one count of dissemination of unlawful surveillance image. She also has 1 count of unlawful surveillance. Both of these she's pled not guilty to. As stated, she's currently being represented by a public defender. From talking to the practicing lawyers I know, it seems like it's very likely that a plea deal will happen today. Who knows though? That's why we're going to go see. The big thing is for her is she filmed the guy. That's why she's charged. You have a whole bunch of arguments about okay, did she open the door? Was the door already kind of opened? How was the door when she found it? There's now alleged Ring camera footage showing that she either opened the door or pushed the door open before she started filming. That's
my take on the situation here is she shouldn't have been taking a picture of the dude, regardless of whether the door was cracked or fully open. Period. That wasn't her business to do that. And then she want to sit there and feel offended from actions that she's taking out of the way of setting the bag down, taking the picture, and walking the fuck off. It makes no sense to me.
The really damning evidence. So we have the police alleging that she opened the door and started filming. And then we have DoorDash essentially banning her from the platform because she filmed the customer. But she's claiming that she's the victim in all of this, which is why, all of her TikTok started in general. So it will be interesting to see how her defense argues for her in court. If I was going to be making any predictions on what's going to happen is, I guess, plea deal. I think they're going to be very lenient on her. She didn't even have to bail out. So she was released on her own recognizance, meaning she didn't have to pay bail. It's basically just an honor system. It's hey, you can go. You don't have to give us anything. We just trust that you're going to show up to court. So I have a feeling that her sentence is going to be, or her plea is going to be very lenient. Most likely she'll be getting some community service, maybe a fine. That's what I'm expecting here, but we'll see.
All right, welcome to Oswego, New York. Beautiful little town. Okay, guys, I just got out of court. I'm now going to find a little location where I can do a quick live stream for you guys. Wow, look at that building. That's beautiful. I think that's the town hall. This is the city courthouse. This is probably the spot. Hopefully we could find some shelter from the wind, though. I feel like my arch nemesis at this point is the wind. Yeah, this is perfect down here. You just got out of the court case for the TikTok DoorDash girl. Something big did happen, but it took a while for anything to happen at all. So I got here at the court at about 9:21. She was on trial at 9:30. This time it was a little bit different because last time we know that we had footage of inside of the courtroom because the news was there. So the news, they were set up, they were filming her. I walk in, there's no TV camera set up. I don't even see any journalists. And basically I was there until the end. I can confirm there was no journalists there. So it's only me that was there, which is kind of interesting. Other updates.
Right. That's why we're not hearing about anything. So, it's crazy. Now, if this was a dude that had done something egregious like this to a woman in her home, man, the news reporters would have still been there with him and stuff like that. And this would still been major news. Let's just keep this going.
This case, she still has a public defender. She has 2 charges. At 9:30, judge walks in, everyone stands up, sits down, the whole thing, and I don't see the DoorDash girl. I think it was just because I didn't see her, because she was sitting in there. And at that time, I was sitting in kind of in the back right of the courtroom, and this courtroom is set up in not the best fashion, because there's a column blocking the judge, and the audio isn't really good, and it didn't seem like they had the microphone speakers on the back, so I couldn't hear what was going on. So I had to move around. Eventually, after they went through a couple of the defendants, I got up and I moved. And that's when I could actually see the judge, so I can at least read what his lips were saying, because the audio was still bad. And I think I sat down kind of behind the DoorDash girl at that point, and that's when I had spotted her. Going through my notes real quick. Oh, no. All right. My hands are frozen. Why did I not bring gloves? As a Norwegian, I should have known better. So 10 o'clock rolls around, and I see who I think is the DoorDash girl's public defender. 10:25 rolls around. Nothing yet. Okay. So at this point, I've been here for a minute. 10:50 rolls around. Woman who looks like the DoorDash girl, who I think was, she gets up after talking to her public defender and leaves. And I'm like, uh-oh. What's going on now? Is this another Jack Doherty situation where there's some continuation? Do I have to show up tomorrow? I don't know. I wait around even further. Then we have probably another 40 minutes of waiting. They go through the last people. The judge then is waiting for one of the defendants to show up. So we get through them, and suddenly it's just me in the courtroom. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going up on the stand. So that must mean it's over. I go out to the clerk, I talk to them, and I'm thinking, okay, there's a continuation that happened. Instead, I found out this was divested to county court. So originally, where we're at, this building right here, this is the city court. So city court, this is kind of like small fines, but hers was divested to county court. So as I said, originally she was in city court, but now county court, that's the main state court. So that means most likely she's facing way more serious charges, or what?
Wow. So yeah, that makes sense right there. So they upped the court shit on her. They upped it. And instead of doing the city, they went to county on her. Man, Jesus. Okay. So yeah, obviously they're going to try to, pull some examples here and things like that. And this is where we at here in America. This is the equalness that feminism and everything has fought for. This is the equalness now, because this woman did film this man in his home sleeping, and then she wants to claim to be assaulted. I've never seen anybody that was assaulted by somebody that was sleeping. That makes no logical sense. And if we keep trying to play off into this illusion and delusion in America, we're going to keep going down this slippery slope of stupidity. This is weird right here. She was weird. She's a very weird lady. For real. This is crazy.
Well, not way more serious charges. The charges are still the same, but most likely they could penalize her a lot harder. So according to the lawyer that I've been talking to, that's the prosecutor that moved it there, most likely because of all the public attention on the case and the public outcry. So that means that most likely she won't get a slap on the wrist. So currently she is facing 8 years in prison. That's her max sentence, because it's a 4-year max sentence for each of the felonies. And her minimum sentence seems to be a couple years of probation. And that is if she's convicted 100% though. It seems like she was moved to Superior Court. So that's actually even worse for her. So that's what we have right now. She's currently facing 8 years in prison. That's the worst case. She's not going to get that. But her minimum is at least a couple years on probation. I
mean, I could definitely see that. Of course, I doubt if they're going to give her the full stretch of 8 years. And at the same time, though, too, I would think that, if they moved it to a much more harsher court, which could really give her the full sentence if they wanted to, I would think that they would probably, do, in this particular case, man, they probably would, I'm just guessing here. Push come to shove, they may give her 2 years, 85% of that, she may do 6 months, to a year, something like that, maybe, and probably do the rest on probation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is what it is here, though. But this is, I mean, at least if that's the case, at least she's getting some type of punishment for being stupid. And this is just reality.
Way, she shouldn't have done this. This is like a big self-inflicted thing that didn't need to happen.
Right.
I don't know why she decided to do that. Those are all the updates for now. And I have to go find out when the next court date is, because if it was just moved till tomorrow, that's very convenient for me, because then I only have to extend by 1 day. But if I have to like keep extending weeks on out, I gotta go home. I can't be here for weeks. I can't be a new resident of Oswego, New York until all of this resides. Who knows? All right, we did a successful live stream. I'm actually fairly happy with that. Now, let's grab a coffee and then head back to the hotel. And
okay, so I'm guessing that this is, pretty much the end, but this is where we're going to stop, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside.
Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. But it is what it is, though. So, yeah, this is where we're going to stop. And, that's pretty much, I think, the gist of it. But listen, look, people, we can't sit here and allow people to get away with this, male or female. It don't fucking matter to me, what gender you are. This is craziness. When people do dumb shit like this, and we need to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. Now, like I said, okay, she's not gonna get the 8 years. I already know that shit off top. They're not gonna give her no 8-year stretch. But of course, she gonna get, like I said, some. She may do a little time and also get most on papers, or either they probably just give her papers and a fine. But this weirdo shit that people are engaging in today's society is a huge problem, and these people need to understand boundaries again. I don't know how we lost boundaries in today's society to where you think you can just go places and film people and things like that. Definitely in a situation like that, to where this girl, even whether the door was wide open or it was cracked and she pushed it open, who knows? Like he said, he has to go to the next court situation and figure it out. We're going to try to follow up and see how this goes, because this is very interesting to see if actually, a woman gets punished for doing dumb shit. Let's just keep this real here, because this is very rare that we see women get punished for doing dumb shit. We see men get punished all the time, but no reports ever get reported when women get thrown in prison or things like that. Nobody wants to shed light on that, because it is what it is, though. But this is where we at, though, man. Hopefully justice is served and this lady actually gets the time that she needs to, sit her punk ass down. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.